So I'm Sheriff Moon with the Sheriff's Office here in Blount County. I want to give an update on the shooting incident that happened this morning over in the western portion of Blount County. We received a call at approximately 10 o'clock this morning of a reported gunshot wound to a child, and that was located at on Orchard Circle in Hayden, Alabama. We had deputies respond immediately and on the scene within minutes. When they got there, they found that the child of that residence was shot in the head, and that the child was breathing but yet was unresponsive. And so my deputies at that time did a great job, really, of first aid and life-saving maneuvers to stop the bleeding to try to save the child's life. And when medical personnel, I also want to say Hayden Police Department arrived on the scene as well, did a great job. We appreciate them responding quickly. Our medical first responders showed up some short time after. We called for a helicopter, but due to this morning's weather, there were none of the life flight or any of the medical air evacs were available to fly due to weather, and so the child was transported by ambulance to Children's Hospital. The child's mother and the siblings were there at the residence when everyone arrived. They found the mother there just inside the door when they went in. I do want to say this: there were no other injuries. No other child was harmed during this. Just the one victim. So far, what we have found through our initial investigation, which, just keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation, but through just our initial investigation at this point, what we have come to is a possible accidental discharge of this firearm that resulted in this child being struck in the head. DHR also responded to the scene. They came out due to the nature of the call, but also because there were other children there in the home. Those children have currently been placed in DHR's custody. They are put into a safety plan at this point, and they will make a determination at a later date as to where to place and what to do with those other siblings that were in the home. There were multiple firearms found inside the home, which the children did have access to. And I just can't encourage people enough to secure their firearms. We did only take one weapon from the scene, the one that was used, the suspected weapon that was used during the shooting. It was a handgun. It was a .380 caliber handgun that we did take into custody. At this time, the mother is being detained as the investigation is ongoing. For right now, she is being placed on a 48-hour investigative hold. There could be charges coming, but at this point, it's just a 48-hour investigative hold. The mother has been identified, and I apologize if I mispronounce the name, but what I believe it to be is Evelyn Etress or Etress, probably Etress, spelling E-T-R-E-S-S. So I apologize again for butchering that name. And then the child who unfortunately did succumb to his injuries and did not survive, his name was Noah. And so I'm asking for the community to please pray for those siblings, pray for the family, pray for my investigators and everybody who responded to the scene. It's always hard. It's always hard dealing with any unnatural death or any death out in the field. But as you can all probably imagine, when it involves a child, it hits even harder. So please remember those people in your prayers. I will take questions. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to answer a whole lot of them just because it's still an ongoing investigation, and there are some things that we don't know and some things that we do know that we cannot divulge. I'm sorry, you had your hand up first?
Yeah, you already kind of hit on it, but I just wanted you to reiterate. Can you speak on what we can do to prevent something like this from happening again?
So, obviously, anytime you buy a firearm, handgun specifically, but any type of firearm, it comes with a trigger lock. If you choose not to use your trigger lock, by all means, keep your weapons unloaded and stored in a safe place so that children cannot get to those firearms and cause harm to themselves or to others. I know that a lot of times people say, well, I want to keep mine ready in case somebody breaks in my house. Okay, fine, but put it in a place that is secured, possibly one not in the chamber, so that if somebody does break into your home, all you have to do is prepare it quickly. I'm just begging people to keep them out of the where kids, so the kids can't get to them. And I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. I have multiple firearms, but I have taught my children from the time they were old enough to really understand, taught them firearm safety. I've taught them everything from muzzle to butt stock when it comes to long weapons. I've taught them everything about weapons handling and the very, very dangers and the consequences that can occur with a mishandling of a deadly weapon. I would encourage people to get lockers, anything to keep those deadly weapons away from young and innocent hands. Did you have a question?
How many siblings were at home at the time?
Were there 5? I think there were 5 at home at the time, including the victim.
In age range?
I'm not 100% sure on that. They ranged from, our victim was the youngest. I can't, it would just be speculating if I tried to tell you exactly.
Were the kids the ones playing with the gun, or was the mom in the room somewhere?
That's a question I just can't answer at this time.
So right now it's 4 children in DHR custody? Because you said 5 siblings.
I believe that's accurate. It could be 5 children. That's right. I believe it is 5 children in DHR. I apologize. We're still, as you can imagine, today has been a whole lot of questions with not a lot of answers, and so 5 in DHR custody.
Is the mom the only known adult living in the home?
No, she is married. Her husband was at work.
Does Noah have the same last name as his mother?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the possible charges she could be charged with?
That will be a discussion between my investigators and the district attorney's office. As I said, it's very, very early in the investigation and the stages of that. So at this point, I'm not going to speculate on what charges could be. I'm going to let my investigator do his work, or my investigators, because it's a team of guys working on this and girls. I'm going to let them do their work and then let them have discussions with the prosecutor and let them determine what charges may be appropriate.
You said multiple firearms. Are we talking like 5, 10, 20?
There were, what I saw when I went into the scene, I saw 3 long guns.
And with that, were those long guns loaded as well?
I don't know. They were not secured, but they were in a place that wasn't going to hurt any of us, so we didn't touch them at that time. So I can't tell you whether or not they were loaded or not.
My other question was, DHR have a history at this home?
My understanding is yes.
Let me ask you, I was out there and I spoke with some neighbors and they said the response was within a couple of minutes. What do you make of that swift response?
First of all, I'm very thankful for I'm very thankful for my deputies, you know. They work really hard and a lot of times don't get the credit they deserve for the things that they do. And I just want to say how proud I am of them for their dedication to professionalism for their dedication to excellence and for their desire to get over and try to save lives. That's what we do. And that's what they responded for, was to try to save the life of an innocent.
You said DHR has been at the home before. Do you know specifics on why?
Don't know the specifics.
Do you know if it was the child that was holding the gun at the time?
I don't know that. And, well, I can't say.
Was the mother, the biological mother of all these children, were they adopted?
My understanding is that she's the biological mother.
Can I ask a follow-up to Brady? So we don't know if it was a boy who shot himself or another child?
We're still investigating, and I can't tell you what we. Right now, it's all just investigative and speculation at this point. But we're digging in very hard, still doing interviews. We have photographed and diagrammed the scene. We have taken witness statements, and it's just going to be a process of really getting down into the weeds of trying to determine what really happened.
I have a question. So Alabama doesn't have a safe storage law. Is that something that maybe you would hope to see come into play to, prevent these types of accidents from happening?
I believe if you have young children in your home, that and I'll probably get blasted by the Second Amendment right people, but because like I said, I love the Second Amendment. I love my guns, but I do believe if you have young children at home, there should be something that's in place. Because let's face it, the majority of gun owners are responsible, but for those who are not, if they're not responsible, they're not going to do the right thing anyway. And I'm not saying that that's what happened here. I'm just saying when you talk, addressing your question is, do I believe there needs to be something in place that says that there needs to be weapons locked and things of that nature? I don't know the answer to that question, but I know this. I am like everyone else, sickened over this. Something that is very preventable.
Sheriff, what time did this happen?
Oh, we got the call about 10 o'clock this morning. It would have been moments before that when the 911 call came in. Our 911 dispatch, they put out calls within seconds of the time that they get them, and so it would have been right around that same time frame.
With there being 5 kids in the home, one of them 2 years of age, I would assume the others were older. Why were the others not in school? I would assume they'd be school age.
That's a great question. That was going through my head as well on my way to the house, and talking to a neighbor today. I believe that they claim to homeschool their children.
Can you say who called 911?
The mother. Any other questions? Thank you all again for coming out. Before you leave, I just want to say how much I appreciate, again, my deputies, Hayden Police Department, our ambulance service, first responders, the fire department, everybody that came out today, just so professional. Not only did they work so hard to attempt to save this young man's life or this child's life, they also did a great job of not disturbing evidence and doing things to try to make it that that our investigative team can do their job without any hindrances.
Thank you.
Thank you.